Ever since I made that video talking about how it's basically confirmed that the Switch 2's Joy-Cons can also function as mice, I have not been able to catch a wink of sleep, all because of a single comment that echoes throughout my head.
What happens if you're playing on a bed? What happens if you're playing on a bed? What happens if you're playing on a bed? What happens when you're playing on a bed?
Okay, I get it! Now, just in case you don't get it, here's what it's all about. So in the reveal trailer for the Switch 2, there's a quick scene that seemingly shows the new Joy-Cons being used as mice. You know, as in a computer mouse, which could be a pretty big game changer when it comes to playing games on the Switch 2. And that brings us to one of the more common concerns I've seen about the Switch 2's mouse feature. Because, unlike a computer mouse, you're probably not going to be playing the Switch 2 at a desk or a table all the time, if ever. So it made me wonder in what conditions will the mouse actually be able to function? Whether sitting in a comfy chair, on a couch, maybe in a bed even? So how about we try the couch test first, and not just because I have one right there. But wait a second, who's in my spot? Mario? Get out, buddy, I need that place. Oh, you're gonna be like that, huh? Well, there's one way we can fix this, and that's through the power of magic and editing. Much better! Take that, Mario! Okay, I'm sorry! Okay, now obviously I don't have a real Switch 2 to do testing with, but I do have two things I can think stand in for it and give us some pretty good results, hopefully. The first is this incredibly accurate 3D printed model provided to us by iVolar, which should give us a pretty good idea, at the least, if the Joy-Cons will be able to glide along surfaces beyond just a computer desk or mouse pad. Now that's what we can get so far. The key thing is whether the mouse technology in the Joy-Cons will actually work on other surfaces or in different conditions. So for that, I want to use an actual mouse, because in theory, the sensor inside the Switch 2 should be pretty similar to the one in this mouse. And this isn't even the top of the line mouse, it's not even the most expensive mouse, obviously, it's just a pretty run-of-the-mill mouse. So if this works, it should give us a pretty good indicator of whether the Switch 2 will work as well, considering they're probably using similar technology. If anything, the Switch 2's may be even better. But we'll get back to this in just a moment, because first off, I want to get back to the Joy-Con real quick, just to get it out of the way, because some people wondered whether this will actually slide along surfaces other than a desk or a mouse pad, as I said earlier. So let's try it real quick. Let's try it on my fabric couch. Let's go ahead and move it along here. As you can tell, it's pretty ergonomic with the Switch 2's Joy-Con setup. And yeah, it glides just fine. Let's try my knee, for instance, or my leg. Yeah, it still works on my jeans, attached to my leg, or on my leg. That's a weird way of saying it. I'm wearing jeans. Anyway, so that's dealt with pretty much. The Switch 2's Joy-Cons probably won't have any trouble gliding along different surfaces, especially because we've seen there's some kind of attachment that may make it even better. So, moving on, I want to get to the real heart of the matter of whether the mouse technology, the mouse sensors, will work on other surfaces once again. So, to test that, we're going to use an actual Nintendo Switch, because as it turns out, there are actually a handful of games on the Switch that actually support the mouse as is, a USB mouse. But that's where we run into problem number one of the current Switch, because there is no way to connect it when you're playing in a tabletop or a handheld form. There's only USB-C on this thing on the bottom. So that's a big problem that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons already addressed, that you'll have them always with you and you can use them seemingly anywhere. So in order to test the mouse, we're gonna have to attach it to a docked Switch, which we have right here. And check this out, we're gonna be testing it on the brand new 3D Mario. Yep, it's running on the original Nintendo Switch. Okay, I'm kidding. This is not a brand new 3D Mario, obviously, though it does look really good. So this is actually a game called Super Mario 3D Isle, as you can see there, in a game, or that was made in a game called Game Builder Garage, which is an official game Nintendo made that allows you to make your own games. And as it turns out, it's, I think, the only Nintendo-made game on the Switch that actually supports a USB mouse. So let's go and connect this to my TV through the dock and try the USB mouse and see if it actually works when using it on a couch or my leg. Alright, I've got my Switch connected to the TV, as you can probably see. I've got my mouse connected to the Switch through the dock. Let's give it a shot and see how this works. This is basically a sneak peek of how the mouse could work on Switch 2 with an official Nintendo game. Let's take a look. Alright, so I'm sitting back, using the couch as my surface for the mouse. And look at that, it actually works perfectly. This feels really good, actually. Look at that. So let's go ahead and go into the node section of the game where we can check out the programming. I'm zooming in and out using the scroll wheel, though of course the Joy-Con, as far as we know, does not have one officially. I can move it around. Oh my god, this is a game changer, everyone. For Mario Maker 3, or whatever gets ported to Switch 2, this is going to be amazing. This feels so much better, so much more precise. So we're going to try making a new project real quick, just to try moving nodes around, so we get even more precision here. I barely remember how this game works, but let's go ahead and add... God, look how fast this is! Oh my god! I mean, I'm acting like this is a game changer because when I use a mouse all the time on PC, but it kind of is because this feels so much more convenient. Look how easy and quick it is to drag and drop nodes in, or to select any option from the menu, or I assume to connect nodes. Like, oh my god, this is chat or comments, whoever's watching right now. This is so good. This is a complete game changer. Okay, so far we know at the very least the mouse not only works great in a Switch game, but secondly works on my fabric couch. Let's go try on my knee, on my jeans, in case you're sitting in a chair where you don't have a surface right next to you or whatever. This is working fine too. Now it's a little bit more limited. You don't have a ton of room, of course, on your leg. But as you can see, it's not hard to cope with, especially if there's going to be, I assume, oh, I haven't turned on my sensitivity. Oh, there we go. It's even better now. So I have even more control on a, narrow surface just by, turning my mouse up. And I assume the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 will have a similar capability. We're going to adjust the sensitivity like it could with the SNES mouse way back in the day. So again, this works great. But what if you're sitting in a chair where maybe you're sitting back, you're relaxed, you have easy access to, maybe your leg or again, the surface next to you. Let's try a few other options. So first of all, let's try a book. I've got the Mario Odyssey, the Art of Mario Odyssey right here. Let's see if a mouse works on this. This right now, so this actually has a cover on it. That is not working great, a plastic cover. So let's get the cover off of it, and we'll see if that solves the problem, where it's kind of jittery. Yeah, I think that solved it. Let's try grabbing something from the output here. Let's go vibrate, Joy-Con right. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think book should be fine. That's based on my test of one book, an unsheathed book. Next though, let's try, not everyone has books, especially these days. So let's try a cardboard box. So if you want to sit down, you got your cardboard box handy. Anyone remember Let's Tap on Wii? Amazing game. Anyways, we're gonna try the cardboard box, and this seems to work pretty well as well. The surface is it seems a little less consistent for me. So cardboard box, and my cardboard box isn't in great shape. Let's try a different edge here. Just turn everything right around. Okay, I think it was just the fact that it was an uneven surface. So yeah, a cardboard box might work for you. All right. So a little iffy on the cardboard box, but if it's smooth, it should be fine. Of course, the ultimate test is the Super NES mouse, because Nintendo made a mouse previously on the Super Nintendo, so this goes way back. Now that mouse was an old school mouse, meaning it had an actual roller wheel, but this, of course, with new mice and the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, they're using an optical sensor. So let's see how this works on this SNES mouse pad. That way, this could be really versatile in how and where you use your Switch 2 if you don't have any surface near you. Let's give it a shot. And unfortunately, this surface is not working great, actually. The Super NES mouse pad is a little too reflective, I think, I'm guessing. Or something with it. It does not like using it. So clearly this was made for an actual roller style mouse, not the new style optical mice. But I'd say so far, based on our testing, you're not going to have much trouble finding a surface on which to use. Because if you have a book, a hardcover book, or a fabric surface near you, or even, like I said, your leg, at least if it's wearing jeans. I haven't tried it without pants yet. I'm not going to. I'm going to spare you all that. So this is looking pretty good for the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, in that you should be able to use them almost anywhere you are, whether it's on, a couch, your leg, or whatever else, again, without the need of having a desk, a table, or a mouse pad near you, like a typical PC mouse pad. Especially not the SNES mouse pad. But I still have to test one more thing, because of course this video opened with me in a bed, and the question originally was, will it work in a bed? We gotta find out, so let's go ahead and head to the bedroom and see if this will work on my comforter and whatever else I have in there. Hey everyone, Handra here, and I'll spare you me actually getting into the bed again this time, but let's go ahead and take a look at if the mouse will work on my comforter connected to the nearby TV. So let's get real low so you can see both, hopefully. We're gonna move the mouse around, and it actually works on my bedspread. So shockingly, to a pretty good degree. So let's go ahead and add a node here. I'm looking at my phone, so it's hard to read, but there we go. We can move it around. We can try and connect it to something. We'll connect to that. No, we need to connect it over. Oh, no, that was gonna connect. Yeah, hey, all right. So confirmed, you can play the Switch 2 in a bed. Imagine that. And of course, we have to see if the Switch 2 Joy-Cons will actually glide on such a surface as well. And okay, this actually may be more of a problem than the actual mouse technology itself, because this does actually seem like it may get hung up, at least on this mattress pad or on this comforter. But you can always take the comforter off and use the sheets underneath. So anyways, and again, the Switch 2 will have another element added onto this, so it may glide even better. So now that my very silly tests involving the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are done, or at least as close as I could get at this point, I think the takeaway is, myself at least, I'm not too worried about these things. I think Nintendo knows that most people aren't going to be playing them sitting at a desk like I am now, and that people will be playing them, you know, sitting on the couch or a chair, or, you know, even a bed or lying down, whatever it may be. I'm sure Nintendo's thought about this, and I'm sure they're planning for the Joy-Cons to be used, you know, on a variety of surfaces. And I'd be surprised if they don't work at least as well as I demonstrated in this video using my PC mouse. You know, there's no guarantees, of course, but it's always possible. But let's go ahead and assume the worst case scenario, where the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 will only work in mouse form when you're sitting at a desk or a table. Which again, I don't think is going to happen, but just in case, I'm not too worried about games using the mouse as the only input. I'd be shocked if there's any games that depend entirely on this, besides maybe super gimmicky ones, you know, such as like a 1-2 Switch equivalent. In fact, I'm confident that any game you can play with a Joy-Con, you'll also be able to use, you know, the touchscreen for at the least, and very likely also the pointer functionality too, like we've already seen on existing Switch games. So I'm not too worried at all. I think this is going to be a great addition for the system that will allow for, you know, faster and better precision than we've had before, involving either the pointer or even the touchscreen, especially since you should be able to use it in any form factor, as I've already demonstrated in this video, again, assuming those tests are accurate. So, that's it. I'm pretty happy with how my mouse worked. I was actually pretty surprised. I actually didn't know how well it was going to work in most situations, and even though it wasn't perfect in all of them, it wasn't hard to find a way to make it work. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So a quick shout out to iVoller for sending us this amazing mock-up of the Switch 2, along with this awesome carrying case for the Switch 2, which, by the way, you can get half off right now using the link in the description below. So check it out. I don't know how long that deal is going to last for. It's a really good deal, and this case is really well made. I will be using it for my actual Switch 2 once I get it. He's behind me, isn't he? Well, don't worry, me and Mario actually made up, so we're good friends now again. With that, everyone, thank you so much for watching our video on the Switch 2's mouse features. Stay tuned for tons more on the Switch 2 and everything else we can think of here. So make sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, otherwise we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone!